All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is March 17th, 2023, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully BTC gonna pump till September, right? All right. So in today's content, we'll talk about BTC on the monthly time frame down to the 3D time frame and all that good stuff, and what type of price action we could be anticipating going into Q2, right? Especially before the summer and all that good stuff. We'll talk about it, why the summer going to be so important, just like we've been talking about like last year Q3 and Q4. We've been talking about the monthly 211 EMA, when most bears been looking for like a 1k 2k 3k BTC and all that nonsense, right? So we've been saying like, in Q1 Q2 2023, we got a great chance to retest the monthly 211 EMA, and we just nearly hit it within 1% and all that good stuff, right? So we'll see how it goes in term of moving averages, in term of Elliott wave, in term of indicators, in term of fibs and all that good stuff. We'll basically go ahead and do a nice live stream and get ready for Q2 2023. Okay, so it is going to be a macro analysis, none of that 15-second charts for Leroy, right, and all the moon boys, right? So give me a 589 if the sound is good. Hey, what's up, Quiet Cook? Cooking some BTC, flushing some XRP down the drain, right? So good to thanks a lot for tuning in, right? We got Said in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in. So all right, so now let's go ahead and start off with the monthly time frame, because the monthly time frame going to give us a clean directional move, right? But once again, before we go ahead and talk about all these analysis, right, I don't think we are in a bull run. Okay, I just gotta be clear with that, right? I think it is just a pullback, right? And we will basically reassess by the summer, because I know most moon boys, when we say above the monthly 211 EMA, they start to say, okay, breaking above all-time high and all that good stuff. It is possible, but I just don't have any price analysis as of now to look for anything above the 0.618, right? So now when we take a look at BTC on the monthly time frame, we've been saying that the monthly time frame, it is not a 15-second chart. It is not something like you buy and basically try to take profits like the next second and all that good stuff, right? So when BTC drops below the monthly 211 EMA in general, right, it tends to dump 50%. Okay, I said it last year in Q1 Q2 2022. That's why we were so bearish, even before the dump below the monthly 211 EMA. We said we're going to drop all the way down to the quarterly 211 EMA, which was around like a 21k, and we did that exactly. Okay, so you go back to the during the March crash, I said it even before the dump below the 4k 5k area. We said we're going to drop 50% below the monthly 211 EMA. We got another good example right here. November 2018, right? We dumped 50% below the monthly 211 EMA. You go back to 2014, same thing. Okay, same thing, right? So what does it mean, right, in terms of like in terms of BTC pushing to the upside? Could it pump like 50%, 100% above the monthly 211 EMA? That is possible. Okay, right here, after we broke out above the monthly 211 EMA around like a 5k back in April 2019, we pumped nearly over 100%. Okay, 150 and all that good stuff, right? Let me do it for Leroy. 150%, right? Right there, we got back above the monthly 211 EMA, pump all the way up to the new all-time high, right? Right here, the monthly 211 EMA, it is at 27k. Could we pump like 100%? That is possible, but the problem is, like, since we're not in a bull market, right? I don't know about you, but me, I don't think like we're in a bull market. It doesn't mean like I'm bearish. All I'm saying is like we're not going to be breaking all-time high. We could be in a macro bull market like for the next like 3 to 4 years, right, till 2025. actually 2 to 3 years, right, till 2025, right? But we might not be shooting up all the way up to a, you know, new all-time high in 2023. You see what I'm saying? So the bottom could be in as of now, right? We're not going to basically spend like a 6 month, 9 month below 15K and basically just spend the rest of the bull cycle above, you know, 15K and all that good stuff, right? But due to the diminishing return, right, that's why I'm saying like pumping like 100%, 150% above, you know, above the monthly 21 EMA will put us up like put us up around like you know, 69K and all that good stuff. So that's why I'm not thinking like we're going to be repeating the same exact percentage gains like what we had in 2019, 150, 160% move. Okay, could we get 1/3 of that? Possible. Could we get 2/3 of that? Possible, right? So 1/3 of 150, you know, that's 50%, right, Leroy? Okay, so that could take us all the way up to like a 40K, give or take. Okay, 2/3, that'll be too much, right? That'll take us like all the way up to 53 or even like a 60K. So I think like 1/3 of what we had right here, just in terms of like a projection, that's good enough, right? So another thing also to keep an eye on the monthly time frame, right, is like the monthly MACD. It is not positive yet, so there is no need to be celebrating and looking for like a 500K and $1 million BTC and all that good stuff. We cannot break all-time high without a positive monthly MACD. So we just have to be level-headed and basically not be looking for like some crazy prices, you know, just because we could break the monthly 21 EMA, right? So that's clear, right? So now I don't need to talk about the monthly 100 EMA. We talked about it like last summer, okay, when we were dropping right here. We said the two lowest points we're going to be looking for going to be our monthly 100 EMA and monthly 100 SMA, and we got, you know, a good shot. Did not break below our monthly 100 EMA. The monthly 100 SMA, it is right around like a 13.5 as of now, so it could be pushing much higher over the next like a few months, right? So we don't know. Okay, it could participate into the you know, the price action over the next like a few months, but we just don't know when we're gonna retest it. We could even retest it like in the next like a bear market. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much with it, right? Because I just don't know, right? So let me take a look at the chat room. So guys, if you find the content useful, you can just hit that thumbs up, right? We got Chris Campbell, Chris in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. Ibrahim, thanks a lot for tuning in, Ibrahim. All right, Quiet Cook. K4 Liberty, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. It's been a while, man. Okay, George, thanks a lot. I will, if I don't forget, I will take a look at Bitcoin Cash, Unibright, XHV Heaven, and all that good stuff, right? So we're done with the monthly 21 in terms of a price action, right? In terms of RSI, I've been saying it in my premium like ever since we started to be trending around like a, you know, 40 back in August. I said, guys, price action is bearish, but if we retest the monthly 100 EMA and the RSI is below 43, 40, you know, 40 range, it is going to be a good macro buy, because we know in Q1, right, and in Q1 or Q2 2023, we got a good chance to retest our monthly 21, right? And if you've been following me since like at least since like August, you know, okay, we've been saying like buy the dips, right? Not for a short-term gains like a 10-15%, but for a, you know, possible 10-15% push to the upside, right? When the monthly RSI was right here. So BTC has not even started pumping yet. BTC doesn't really you know, it doesn't really pump until we get above the RSI 55. So if we get above the RSI 55, good gosh, okay, this sucker could go crazy. Okay, it could go crazy, but we will see. We will see if we're going to be able to get back above the 55 RSI, you know, before before next year and all that good stuff, right? All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on the lower degree. Okay, so now if we take a look at BTC on the weekly, it is back above the weekly 21. Wmacd, it is still positive. The weekly RSI doesn't look that bearish, just about like a 50, so got plenty of momentum, right, to get the job done right there. So it got so much room to basically do whatever it wants to do, right? So if you take a look at the 7-day cycle, right, it is giving us like one of these big pumps, right, we had back in 2021. If you recall right here, we were bullish on BTC at 31k, exactly at the bottom, July 21st, right, 2021. Exactly, we said, okay, it's time to suck it up, we're going up. Okay, right there at the same time, after we retested like 50% right here, or 382, just about like a 40k push back up, the 2D Wmacd flipped back bullish. What we said, we're going up. That's the same type of scenario I'm seeing right here. Okay, the 2D Wmacd, we'll take a look at the 2D Wmacd, but on the weekly you can see like these type of pumps. Okay, they break above the previous range, right, the previous resistance, and basically just carry on, right, pump all the way up to the next level of resistance, right? So if that's the case, right, we could see BTC, right, trending up for the next like a few weeks, for the next like a 6 to 8 weeks, right, possibly, right, in terms of direction. So on the weekly, it looks good. I don't see anything crazily bearish as long as we above the weekly 21 EMA. Okay, we just have to hold the weekly 21 EMA in order to basically in order to keep the momentum up. But if we lose the weekly 21 EMA, that could change the structure. Okay, but we will talk about it if and only if we lose the weekly 21 EMA. But as of now, we don't, I don't want to spend any time analyzing a possibility or probability of breaking below the weekly 21 EMA until we do so. Okay, and then basically we could start like to talk about like retest of the monthly 100 EMA, monthly 100 SMA, and all that good stuff. But as of now, it looks really good. Okay, things could change. Okay, crypto is crazy. Okay, they could be bullish like one day and go like let's say 10, 15, 20, 30% down the next day, right? So we just have to be level-headed and not expect like some moon prices like tomorrow and all that good stuff, right? It could be trending up for the next like a 6 to 8 weeks or even 10 weeks depending on the volatility, right? So in terms of volume, it looks really, really, really good. Okay, and I said it back in 2019. If you guys been following me back in 2019, that's what I said right here when BTC, the volume was low, extremely low, and I was like, in the next 3 to 5 years, the volume going to be trending up. That's exactly what I said. And even in the next like a 3 to 5 years, it's going to be trending up. It's crazy, right? But that's how it is, because volume doesn't move linearly. You see what I'm saying? You're going to get these dips in terms of volume, right? Like that, right? You're going to get another pump, another dip, and then you're going to get another dip like that. And during the next bull market, it's going to pump again. So you're never going to get like a linear constant volume, but you're going to get a linear increase in volume like that. Okay, so but the volume looks really, 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 really good, right? Especially on Coinbase, right? Because we had our biggest selling volume, I think back in November, something like that, right? Or back in June. I have to take a look at the chart, right? But it looks good in terms of 7 days. Wipe out all the losses right here. Bears, were pretty bearish at the bottom. Panic selling right there, right? And now you can see what bulls are doing. Okay, basically nullifying all the selling pressure right here with the big buying pressure to break the August resistance. looking really good, right? So now let's go ahead and take a look at BTC on the 3D basis before we talk about, I know Leroy want to know where we're going next, right? But we'll talk about the price level in terms of resistance above the monthly 200 EMA after we talk about the 3D time frame, right? So let me take a look at the chat room. Oh, we got XRP 589 in the house. Thanks a lot for tuning in, XRP Dan. Tell in the house, thanks a lot for tuning in. Okay, but we don't have Leroy in the house, right? Thanks a lot for tuning in, all of you guys, right? So now on the 3D, we just have to keep an eye on it, right? So it's been saving us over the last few years, right? Even at the top right here, it saved us. Right here, it saved us. Right there, it saved us, right? The 3D time frame. For me, right, it might not be for you, but personally, right, it is one of the most accurate time frame to pay attention to when it comes to BTC. Okay, it could be different, like when you it could be different when you take a look at it in in other assets and all that good stuff, but when it comes to BTC, it respects the 3D time frame, right? So what are we getting right now? Okay, so we are getting another positive MACD. Okay, we are getting another positive MACD. That is a very good news, right? And why it is a good news, if you recall, guys, if you recall back in September, October 2021, right here, after we flipped negative, what I said, okay, the trend could be down. However, if the 2D flips back positive, right, we're going up, right? So that's the same thing we're getting back right here. You can see like the 2D and the 3D, they both flipping back up after the correction over like a 30-45 days of sideways correction. Now they're flipping back up, right? So that is a good news, right? If we go back to the 3D time frame, you can see we back above the 3D 100 EMA, which was our January resistance. If you recall, I back in January I was saying like I don't think we will hit the monthly 200 EMA in January, possibly in February, right? But we could not hit it in February. Now it is March and we just hit it. The volume is super low compared to our previous buying pressure, so it means like we could be getting a lot more volatility over the next like 48 hours, because I don't think the volume will close like that. Okay, it could at least be like let's say 75% of the previous 3D volume right here. So it means that we got a lot more volatility during the weekend and all that good stuff. Okay, so it looks pretty good, right? So I don't see anything crazy really on 3D, and if you take a look at it now on the 2D, it looks like it is breaking the resistance trend line, right, in terms of RSI, and at the same time we breaking we are flipping positive on the 2D. The 2D cycle will close in 3 hours. That's a good news, right? So even if we basically dump within the next like 24 to 48 hours, we just have to hold the 24K. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, because if we pull back within the next like 24 to 48 hours during the weekend, right, it could give us some sort of a tweezer top, something like that, and all the bears gonna show up and say, okay, haha, I told you 27K was going to be the top and all that good stuff. Let's do this right there. Okay, if we get, I don't think it will be a tweezer, right? But if we get a tweezer top, I wouldn't even be that bearish. We will just have to wait to see if we're going to break the 3D 21 EMA or the 2D 21 EMA. But if it drops back down, even if it drops back down, it could just push right back up because the volatility is so high. And remember, on the 3D, we got 48 hours to go. You see what I'm saying? But on the 2D, we only got 3 hours to go. So it means the next 48 hours, right, it is going to be for the bulls, right, to basically keep the price up, right, and avoid the next 2D time frame to close bearish. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so for Leroy, but most of you guys probably got what I'm saying, right? So now we're done with the 2D time frame, right? So let's take a look at the DXY. I'm going to show you why this pattern is bullish, okay? Because back in I think Q1, Q2 2021 for the DXY on a quarterly basis, okay, we did have a similar move, right, on the DXY. So if you've been following me long enough, that's the same setup we had on the DXY right there. Let's take a look at it. But it was on the quarterly basis, right? Right there. That was actually, that was back in 2022, last year. Okay, so what I said back then was like, if we break our resistance trend line, right, in terms of RSI, right, and the MACD flipping positive right here, the DXY going to be pumping to the upside. And that's exactly what happened. We broke out in terms of like a MACD and RSI. So if we go back to BTC, you can see that's the same exact setup, but on the 2D basis. Instead of basically playing out on a quarterly time frame, BTC is printing the same exact pattern, on the 2D basis. You can see MACD is flipping back bullish right here. Same exact setup, just different time frame. Okay, so that's why sometimes I like to pay attention to these patterns, right? Because you're going to be seeing these patterns once again, right, down the road, right? So now let's move on to the price levels for Leroy, right? Before we talk about BTC in terms of Fibonacci. So when we take a look at BTC in terms of we're going to talk about it in terms of price level and Fibonacci's at the same time, right? The fibs we're going to be paying attention to the upside. By the way, remember on the downside we talked about like 50% pullback on the macro level, right? Was coinciding with what? The monthly 100 EMA right there. Okay, so that's 50% pullback to the downside. If we do a swing low to swing high, Leroy right here, okay, swing low, swing high. Okay, 50% pullback of the entire move was down to 16.2, right? Yes, you got some noise down to like a 15.5 and all that good stuff, but that's only for the short-term traders, right? So now if we do the same exact thing to the upside, right, swing high down to swing low, you can see we got 50% pullback at 32k, 32.8 to be exact, right, on Binance, and we got 0.618 up to 39k. So if you guys remember, we've been talking about like a 32, 39k area, if and only if, right, we managed to take out our monthly 21. We talked about it back in January. We said, okay, we got to take out our monthly 21. If we do not take out our monthly 21, there is no need to be talking about like 32, 40k, 50k and all that good stuff, right? So now, since like bears looks like they could be giving up as long as price is above the 3D 21 and the weekly 21, right, we could assume, okay, with I would say 75 to 80% probability, right, to break above the monthly 21 EMA. And now we could be looking for what? This box right here. And remember, we're talking about it on the monthly time frame. So even though we're looking at these fibs on on the 3D and all that good stuff, but we're talking about like the monthly time frame. Okay, price action moving up higher over the next like a few months, right? Anything, nothing like a, you know, these 15-second chart and all that good stuff. We're not talking about like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, and all that good stuff. Okay, so 32 to 39K possibly going to be a range, right, to be paying attention to. Okay, we could get another sideways correction just like that, another 30 days, 40 days of sideways correction between 39 to 40K. That's possible. Okay, we got 0.786 at 50K, a beautiful number right there. But I think, right, once again, our chance of going up to 50K is not that high. So let's just take care of a 50% pullback up to 0.618, and then after that we could start to speculate about, you know, 50K, 60K, 100K, and all that good stuff. Okay, which I don't think we will get to those levels in 2023 though, but let's get to a 0.618 or at least 50% pullback around our June resistance right here, June 2022. If you've been following me long enough, right, you should have basically sold out, right, sold some BTC right at, you know, 31, 32K. If not, you should have basically already sold at, you know, 41, 42K. If not, you should have basically sold at, you know, 58. We talk about all these price levels, right? So those are the you know, price level to pay attention to over the next like a 6 to 8 weeks. You know, could be longer, I don't know, but my bias is like BTC doesn't like May, the first week of May, May 4th, May 10th. You know, just got to be cautious, no later than May 15th, right? So, but we will see how it goes, right? I don't do time analysis, but we will see. Okay, hola, 1 speed, 2 speed, 3 speed, thanks a lot for tuning in. ¿Qué pasa? Well, mucho bien. Hey, what's up, Hank? Man, I don't speak Spanish, so don't listen, okay? Oh, Hank was wondering about the tweezer top, but we will see. Okay, I think I will take a look at the 6-hour time frame. We got a chance, right, to get bears got a chance, right, to wreck the bulls and dump the price back down to like a 24.1 to a 23.7. Okay, but we will take a look at it on the 6-hour. I'm not gonna bet the farm on that one. Okay, if it dumps 10%, 15%, that's going to be a huge, okay, accumulation for the bulls. Okay, if you leverage trading, I don't know. Okay, so just be cautious, because you might be doing 100x, 125x, something like that, and could possibly easily get wrecked with those 100x's, right? You're gonna get one of them, but 100 of them going to wreck you first. That's the thing with doing 100x. Okay, you can do 100x and make like a good profits, right? But just remember, the next 100x probably going to basically wreck you. Okay, most of you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Oh, David, no, David doesn't do 100x. He does 1525. I think Jude does 99x. Leroy the 97. Then XRP does 0x. Okay, so we good with the numbers, right? On with the fibs and all that good stuff, right? So I know we've been talking about the upside, right? But once again, there's always a risk. Okay, it doesn't matter how bullish the market is, there's always a risk of the trend reversing. We just have to be mindful of that. Okay, just because the trend is bullish, right, it doesn't mean it will be pushing to the upside every single day, right? Because we already got like a 30% pump in 1 week. In 7, if you take a look at it on the 7-day cycle, we got a 30% move. That's the same type of move, right, we had right here, but this one was actually 23%, and I was bullish on it. As soon as we broke out, I was like, okay, this reminds me exactly what happened back in July 2021. Okay, so I did not hesitate to go bull right there, just about like a 20k to 204, 20,400 range, 20,500 range, right at the 6 hour 21. So the bearish scenario for the bears, right, for the savage, right, you can see if we break below our 3D 21, right, the 3D 21 right now, it is at 22.7. remember, after we broke below the 3D 21, I was like, okay, we could drop all the way down to like 0.618. However, if it breaks out to the upside, right, and we take out the 22.7, the trend will flip. If you guys recall that, okay, last week, something like that, right? So that level 22.7 has to hold, right, in order to basically, in order for the bulls, right, to keep up the momentum. But if we break it right here, it could print like other type of pattern and all that good stuff, right? It could make our job very complicated, right? So we just have to stay above the 3D 21, and at the same time keep our MACD positive on the 3D. I don't think we will get any trouble, okay, on the weekly basis. Okay, I don't think we will get any trouble because the weekly time frame, right, the weekly MACD is super bullish right here, very positive. Okay, and if you take a look at it on the 5D, we got the same structure we had back in September right here, right? And I remember September, I think that was like September 7. I was very bullish right here, like the first week of September, right there. Okay, I was very bullish. Okay, and this guy just dumped out of nowhere. Okay, but luckily, okay, I said like, okay, we got the 3D 21 EMA as support, or down to the 382, right? But it was so bullish right here, but the MACD on the 3D decided to dump and all that good stuff, but the 5D never crossed negative, and we're getting the same exact structure, even though our 3D crossed negative right there, just like what happened right here. Same exact move, guys, right there, right here, right there. MACD crossed negative and now flipping positive. And if you take a look at it, we did have a, in terms of percentage wise, right, 60% move. Okay, so a 60% move from the bottom, yep, will take us all the way up to 32k. Okay, so but going back to the bearish setup, okay, if everything changes, right, and bears just decide to show up, and we just have to acknowledge it, right? If they do show up, we just have to pay attention to what our fibs on the low degree. Okay, but I don't know where the top going to be at, right? But let's just assume, okay, 27k could be the top, right, for whatever reason, right? We got 0.618 now at 20, just about like a 19.5, 0.786 at 17.6, and 0.888 at 16.7, right? But I will only focus, right, I will only be focusing on these prices if and only if we break out below our weekly 21. Okay, so if you're a bear, you still got a shot. Okay, but you got to take out your 3D 21 and your weekly 21. That's the only way you could be looking for these lower prices, right? That's the only one. That's the only way. Okay, so I think we talked about everything. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the USDT dominance, because that one is so important, guys, and thanks to Leroy. So I already done a macro analysis on it back in January, the first week of January. Okay, and what we said was like, since like we've been repeating these flat corrections, right, we could possibly be repeating another flat correction at the top right here, right? Double top was right around like a 9%, and double bottom going to be somewhere around like a 5.86%, right? So it looks good in terms of bearishness, right? It just has to break below the 6.4, 6.5 range, and we could be looking for like a 5.8, and it could even break below 5.8 and retest our macro support trend line right here, somewhere around like a 4%, right there. That's our macro support trend line, right? And that would give us a local top for BTC and alt. But we will see how it goes. On the weekly, I just don't see any sign of reversal. Take a look at the curvature right here. It is a bearish curvature, right? So the USDT dominance really could be dumping down to like a 4%, depending on the volatility, right? But first thing first, we just want to focus on 5.8, because we're most likely going to get some sort of like a bounce, right? From not bounce, but some sort of like a rejection. If we retest like a 32K and the USDT dominance retesting like 5.8, it could bounce, right? And BTC could get rejected around like a 32K and all that good stuff, right? And after that, we will be looking for the macro support trend line, right? But too soon to talk about the 4%. Let's just focus on 5.8%, okay? At least for me, right? It was a clear divergence, right? If you haven't watched the video, it was a clean divergence. We talk about it right here. Double top, MACD was making, lower highs. RSI was making lower highs. We broke below the macro trend line support. So, we just had to go bull, right, on BTC. So now let's take a look at the BTC.D. Okay, I will go back to BTC, David, to see what you're saying. Okay, so I talked about BTC in terms of the BTC dominance, right? A couple of weeks ago, or back in January, I can't remember. It's been pretty boring. If you take a look at it on the weekly or monthly, it's been just moving sideways for the last 2 years, right? So we're about to retest our 48% resistance. We'll see what type of a rejection we're going to get, or what type of reaction we're going to get from alt, right? But it is going to be a very important key level to keep an eye on, right, over the next like a couple of weeks, right? But my bias, once again, it is like we could get a temporary rejection, but it might not be a permanent rejection to retest the bottom. Okay, it is possible, right? But I don't think it will be a permanent rejection like what we had back in June 2022, right? Or like a July 2021, right? So the reason for that is like on a monthly basis, we are about to break above the monthly 21 EMA. And I said it long time ago, if we break below our monthly 21 EMA, that could trigger a bullish continuation of the BTC dominance, regardless of what BTC USDT is going to be doing. If the BTC USDT pumps, the BTC dominance is going to be like, okay, I'm going to pump. Okay, if the BTC USDT dumps, the BTC dominance is going to be like, who cares, I'm going to pump. All right, that's what happened right here back in June 2019. Okay, after the BTC price action peaked at 14K, remember 14K, right? For Leroy 13888, right? The BTC dominance, right, did not dump. It pumped straight up for like the next 3 months, right? And back then I was saying like we're gonna hit like 72%. Even before we hit 72%, right here when the BTC dominance was like 50%, 53%, I was like we're gonna hit 70 to 72% and all that good stuff. But I'm not that bullish on it. We'll see. We'll take it step by step. Once we hit 53, we will see if we're going to be able to go up to like a 57 or even get a dump back down to 49, depending on the overall market reaction, right? But keep an eye on 48, possible temporary, temporary rejection. But for the macro, I think it is better to be in BTC, or mostly in BTC, 70 to 75% for the rest of the year, okay, till basically 2024, right? And to start decreasing BTC holding back into alt after we break all-time high, or after the BTC happening, okay, whichever comes first. I mean, of course, I wouldn't say of course, but the BTC happening going to be in May 2024, right? After the happening, it'll be a great time to be increasing alt exposure. Yes, most of these alt could be much higher in the next like 18 months, something like that, but at least you're not going to be seeing all those 50% drawdowns and all that good stuff, right? 90% drawdown and all that good stuff, right? You're at least going to be holding on to your BTCs until the halving or the halving, and you're going to be allocating into alt, for like a 6 to 12 months, depending on the volatility, right? But if you're holding 100% alt as of now, I mean, you got to be able to be very patient, right? Because alt going to be pretty volatile, 50% move, 50% dump, and all that good stuff, right? So now the next one to talk about, it is the G BTC. So if we take a look at the G BTC, it looks really good. Okay, it looks super good. Okay, even on the monthly, what I've been saying is like, most of the time, even as I said it on Tesla, even before Tesla broke out below the monthly 21 EMA, its monthly 21 EMA back in October, right? Tesla was right around like $200. I was saying that we're going to drop all the way down to what, 106. Okay, the reason for that was like it was breaking below its monthly 21, right? After a multiple retest and could not hold. So if you take a look at the G BTC, it is breaking below the monthly 21 EMA, just like what BTC did back in Q1 2022, around like a 40K. After we broke below the monthly 21, it just capitulated, right? I don't think the G BTC will capitulate 50%, but at least we got some sort of like a price level we could be paying attention to over the next like a few weeks, right? We are pretty familiar with 0.06 up to 0.02 resistance. If you guys remember back then, I was saying it, if we break out above 0.06, 0.062, we could go all the way up to 0.1, right? And that's exactly what we did. We actually shoot up to like a 0.11, but it was only 10%. So it means, right, over the next like a few weeks, if we retest like a 0.06 G BTC, right, you got to be cautious, okay? Not be like extremely bullish, because the trend could be slowing down. Okay, it could be slowing down if we retest like a 0.06 or even down to like a 0.047, but who knows, right? I would just stick with the 0.06 right here, that level, right? Hopefully it makes sense, right? On the weekly rejection, right? You take a look at the weekly Wmacd negative curvature, right? Same exact thing BTC was doing, right? In Q1, Q2 2022, same exact move. The only difference is like BTC was giving us this pattern on a 3 weeks time frame, right there. Okay, if we take a look at BTC USDT on the 3 weeks, let's take a look at on the 2 weeks for Leroy. That pattern, the pattern was right there. Like it is like a negative curvature. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks better on the 10D right there. Okay, right there, that pattern right here after the breakout below the monthly 211 EMA. Right here, this breakout right there was below the monthly 211 EMA, around 40k. Okay, so if we go back to the Wmacd, okay, same exact move, right, on the weekly, possibly on the 10D, same exact move, even on the 10D. So if the volatility to the downside increases, bulls, right, could be looking for 0.06, right, up to 0.062. So if you don't know how to trade the Wmacd BTC, you don't mess with it. Don't, just leave it. Don't even look at the chart, right? Just stick with the BTC USDT chart. Aladino. All right, so we talk about the Wmacd, Wmacd BTC, the BTC dominance, the USDT dominance. We talk about BTC in terms of fibs, 50% to 0.618. The only thing left is like, let's talk about BTC in terms of Elliott wave, right? Because in terms of Elliott wave, we're still going to get some we're still going to get like similar directional trend. Okay, so if we take a look at BTC in terms of wave, Elliott wave, right? Okay, so if you guys watch my previous Elliott wave macro analysis, I said it clearly. BTC already printed 5-way structure, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So after a trend, okay, going to the opposite direction of the previous 5-way structure, right? And we talk about it. I said it clearly. You know, we got 85% chance, right, of bottoming around like a 16k at the monthly 100 EMA after the 5-way structure. That is only based on what Elliott wave, right? So after a 5-way structure, what do you expect? You're expecting a pullback, right? Now we got the pullback, but the pullback doesn't seem like it is done, right? And we could be getting another wave to the upside, right? So the first wave we got was this one right here, okay? And we got a nice expanded flat, right? Retesting 50%. And now we're looking for our wave 3 to the upside. We don't know how wave 3 will look like, okay? It could be choppy. You know, it could be choppy. It could make any side, any type of a pattern going up to a, you know, going up to the next level and all that good stuff, right? So since we're looking for our wave 3, most of the time what we've been saying is like our wave 3 tend to be 1.618 extension. It doesn't have to. It could be extension 2. It could be extension 3 if you're a moon boy. Okay, it could be 1-to-1. But in general, right, 1.618 extension is good enough. Okay, anything higher is great. So if we take our fib extension tool and we do a swing low up to swing high, right around like a 25.2, and another swing low down to like a, you know, 19.5. Okay, that's going to be 1.618. right? 32.3. And we already talked about all these numbers, but I just wanted to show you guys in terms of a Elliott wave. So I'm not going to go back to say, okay, why 32 is so important and all that good stuff. So if you watch the entire live stream, you know why 32.3, 32.8 is so important, okay? But in terms of Elliott wave, we got 120 extension, 1.618 confluence region between 32 and 39, just in terms of like a wave analysis, okay? And after that, we will see, if we're going to be a zigzag right here, right? This guy could give formation. So I don't like to print like patterns. I just like to sideways correction. I said it. I just didn't know how deep it was going to be. But when BTC was at 20 correction, because I was, 70-80% sure we were going to get a figured out, right, what type of pattern market will print, right? But I just don't like to say, oh, we're gonna go up there and then come back down here, do and all that good stuff, right? Because you can. Right, let me see. I think everything is good, right? Hey, Pablo S Crypto, thanks a lot for tuning in, right? Okay, for the bearish side is like, for the bearish side, instead of basically getting a our X double top, because it can still be a flat correction and a move to the downside. It is still, this entire move could be a double top, double bottom. Okay, double top, double bottom right here. We did not double bottoms, right? This one and this one, right? All right, so if I can, okay, so you can see right here, right? All right, I think right there. You can see the same exact pattern, and I basically sent it like in the group like long time ago. Okay, so next to the downside, so this could be coming to the downside, meaning like BTC could be going to the upside. What David Moonboy is saying. So on the daily basis, right, the divergence already faded away. Didn't want to basically be flipping bearish at that time right here, okay? Because I was watching the 3D time frame and we were still above the 3D or what time frame you like to trade, right? So 618, okay, 40k and all that good stuff, right? So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it was done. Okay, and on the 6 hour, if we cross negative right here again, we're going to be in trouble. So, and if you've been following me long enough, I said it right here. Okay, I was like, it's not going to reverse down. We're going to push back up and possibly cross negative and try to cross positive again. But the move was a little bit deep. Okay, the move was a little bit deep. So we basically cross positive too late, but nevertheless it is still a positive crossover. Okay, so since we're talking about the 6 hour time frame, we got our 6 hour 21 EMA right now at 25k, and at the same time we got our support just in case it prints the flat correction just like that over the next few days. Okay, going into the weekend, right? So that's a pattern to pay attention to going into the next couple of days, right? Next week. So just in case, okay, we do get the double top, double bottoms. All right. And I talked about the double top, double bottom right there also. Okay. Similar structure. So it could print something like that also. Right. But this one, it broke it and created the bigger one. Okay. It broke it and created a bigger one. So support, over the next support over the next few days, Be 24.1, Leroy 24.2. You just have to watch the chart carefully, right? It could be, you know, 23.7, 23.8, but just give it like some room, right, to breathe. And you know, no sort of a divergence in terms of RSI. So if it creates a double top, double bottom, we could shoot up again. Okay, but everything looks good as of now. Okay, yeah, I talked about the daily already, David. Yeah, I think I mentioned it on the daily, right? Yeah, that's the divergence you're talking about, right? So remember when we pump, I think we went for a live stream on this pump, right? And people started to, you know, scream about a divergence. I was like, okay, we could print the divergence. However, we got to get another negative crossover. If we print another negative crossover right here, yes, you validate the divergence. Good stuff, and try to get the very last price on the 15-second chart, right? And all that good stuff, right? But right here, if you waited for the negative crossover, I saw it. I just was, you know, I was just staying with the 3-day time frame, but I saw it. Okay, I saw the divergence on the daily. Could not basically ignore it, but I just wanted to stick with the 3-day time frame. Right, so that divergence faded away, and then you basically dump. That's the dump you got right here because of the divergence. Do you see what I'm saying? So you don't want to use this divergence again. It's done. That's a pass. Okay. So you got to wait at least for another divergence. What does it mean? It means you have to wait for price action, right, to do something like that, right? And you're gonna get your divergence right here, and your MACD going to be doing something like that, right? Right? And then, you know, you get your double top right there, possibly. Okay. And once you get your double top right here, something like that. It doesn't have to look like that exactly, right? Okay. Let me just print it. Okay. And you get your move like that, and you're gonna use that divergence right here and right there. Yeah, and by the way, I did not mention the next possible divergence. If we get something like that on the daily, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna ignore it. Okay, I'm not gonna ignore it. I'm not going to ignore it, because we could get it like over the summer, right? And if we do, right, you don't want to be saying like, oh, it is only a daily divergence. And we know BTC like to dump what? BTC likes to dump, you know, around May, June, and all that good stuff, right? So you don't want to basically be ignoring any bearish divergences, right, on the daily, you know, especially on the 3D. I don't think we will get a 3D divergence, but we will see. Actually, I don't think we will get a weekly divergence. We could possibly get a 3D divergence like that, but it could be a sharp one. Okay, very sharp, like that. Okay, could be a very sharp 3D divergence. Let's see. That's that was on the daily. Yeah, you can see something like that. Okay, the 3D, if you're waiting for a 3D divergence near the top, you might be, you know, waiting forever. Okay, it could be something like that, but it didn't even create a divergence. You see, we might not get a 3D divergence. I'm not going to be looking for, if the 3D chance, basically any chances, right? All right, so guys, let me go ahead and take a look at few alt for George, Bitcoin Cash. Okay, BCH. All right, come on, BCH. Okay, so Bitcoin Cash doesn't look bad, right? You know, it already created its double bottom. Now it's double tapping. It got to take out 150, right, and could try to go above like 160, 170. And you got your June resistance all the way up to a $212, $200 range, right? But first thing first, got to take out the 150 area, right? If you know, if market sees any type of a, there is no other support all the way down, guys, all the way down to a 1-to-1 extension of the you know, this range. Okay, possibly, you know, $50 down to like a 40 or even $30, right? But we'll see. So let's take a look at it on the 3D does not yet cross positive, so we'll see if the 3D will cross positive, right? If it crosses positive, you got a shot all the way up to the June highs, right? But if it stays negative, that could look ugly, right? So what's next? I think Unibright, UBT. Okay, so already 1 hour. These things are going slow. Take a look at UBT. Take a look at it on Bittrex. Okay, this guy is just sitting tight, relaxing, you know, consolidating. So nothing spectacular on the monthly, just sitting nearly at 0.618. So the monthly 21 is at 52 cents. If it shoot up, right, look for the monthly 21 EMA around like 52 cents. If we break below the support, could be coming back down to retest the previous resistance right here, all the way down to like 0.03. Okay, but that's only on the monthly time frame. Okay, could be different on the low degree. We'll take a look. Haven protocol. Okay, so Haven protocol. Okay, so it is basically following the market, right? The MACD is positive. That's a good news, but we lost the weekly 21 EMA and got rejected from the August resistance. So it is basically doing the same thing market is doing, right? Right there, around like a 145, right? The monthly 21 is almost around like a $4, so not sure if it is going to be strong enough to get up to $4, right? Yeah, got to hold the support range at 37 cents. I don't see anything below 37, right, of this move, right? To the downside, looking for like a 13 cents, which is pretty normal, because most of the time when these guys break a macro support, they tend to drop like 40, 50, or even 60%, right? So that's going to be a 60% drop, going all the way up to the monthly, you know, monthly 21 EMA right there, which is your weekly 100 EMA, right? Give or take, right there. Okay, just about like $3 actually. but got to take out, once again, got to take out 78 and all that good stuff, right? 87 cents a day. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Depending on how we're gonna close the weekly time frame, right? We possibly could go for another live stream next week, or even or possibly next month, depending on how we're gonna close the monthly time frame. So if we close the monthly anywhere above 24k, it is, but I think it's still gonna be good enough, right? But closing above 24.5, 24k area going to be the perfect closing. Okay, so remember, BTC been down like for 365 days from like a November 8th 2021 right down to November 8th 2022. So that's 365 days of a downtrend, right? And we talk about, like, back in January, February, and all that good stuff, the MACD on the 3D, right, and on the weekly was showing some sort of like a bullish divergences, right? So that basically kept us bullish, right? Price action above the weekly 21, above the 3D 20. We talk about it back in Q3 to be, not to be buying, right? What else? Okay, we talk about the USDT dominance could possibly drop all the way down to 5.8. We talk about the BTC dominance could pump all the way up to 53% if we break out above like a 48, right? And we talk about the PAX GBTC also, right? Possibly could be dropping all the way down to 0.062, 0.06 to 0.062, and all that good stuff, right? Hopefully you guys enjoy the macro analysis. Be safe out there. Market going to be pretty volatile going into the summer. Gotta sell in May, walk away, take a vacation, wait for Q3, Q4, and all that good stuff. And basically be ready to get back into the market, right? Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys.